Why do we feel it's necessary to yak about bullshit in order to be comfortable?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Welcome back, everyone. It's South of the Border in a special edition because we just got back from seeing
The Thunderbolts.
the Thunderbolts, as the Red Guardian would say, and with an asterisk. And we are going to talk a couple spoilers in this, so if you don't want to know spoilers, not too much, but definitely just some leaks out there that people have already seen. Right. Is what it is. And a couple little plot points here and there that people have already seen is what it is. And we'll kind of mention them, but we'll kind of be as general as possible because the movie just came out today here down south of the border.
2 days ahead of the U.S. No?
Yeah, I think there are some pre-screenings tomorrow night, but it could be that. Yeah.
Do an audio check real quickly.
All right, solid. Just solid with the audio check. I've been experimenting with different mics, but I went back with the Yeti because, to be honest with you, the Yeti picks up a lot, and I like that. I like the
for the streams here, it's probably a little better.
Yeah,
gaming though,
gaming the DJI is much better. That's better. Not an endorsement for either one. I enjoy either or. But anyway, so we saw the first showing we could get in, which was the very first showing that was available in English, with the subtitles, as they called them,
subtítulos.
Subtítulos. And it happened to be a 3D IMAX.
Which was not our intention.
Not our intention to see IMAX or 3D. I'm not a big 3D person, but and the movie, to be honest, you don't need to see it in 3D. It was sort of like
it made things pop, sure.
Sure, it made a couple things here and there pop, but it wasn't like
didn't need it.
No, I didn't need it. So I'm gonna get. I know that I'm gonna get a lot of crap from people who watch this and
probably don't like it.
Don't like what I'm gonna have to say, and that's okay. You can give me crap if you want. I have been known to be hard on Marvel and Disney when I don't like something, and I've been known to say what I do like.
Which has been a lot recently compared to, Brave New World.
Yeah, there's been a lot that I haven't liked that Disney and Marvel have put out. But when the credits finally rolled, the lights came up, and we saw the post-credit scenes, I turned to you and I said, this may be one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time.
It's a really good movie.
It was a really good movie.
For a Marvel, I think also what helped is we went in there with sour expectations because of what we received.
Yeah.
Before already, in a month, Disney released. If you exclude Revenge of the Sith re-release, right?
Yeah.
You got Snow White and you got Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah.
You're not expecting this movie to be good at all. You look at the trailers and think this looks like kind of iffy. You know what I mean? It's nothing popular. It's not really established.
People have been dunking on it already before it even came out.
And to be fair, to credit it, that's mostly because of Disney, I think. And what they had been putting out before, so people were talking about any small detail that they thought could hint towards a direction they didn't like.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where I got to admit I was wrong. I went in there with bad expectations. I thought maybe I'd be funny at points, but I thought I wouldn't enjoy it really. No, I could watch that movie again and be happy and be thoroughly pleased.
Yeah, it's actually for me. It's like, oh wow! And since our trio, we're usually a trio with you, me, and your mother.
We have to go back to watch it with her.
I have to go back to watch it with her because it was that good for me as far as a Marvel movie is concerned. And it was good for a variety of reasons. And yes, there is... Listen, it's a Marvel movie, so you're going to get the Marvel comedy. You're going to get the quips. You're going to get all that, right?
Right.
So you got to expect some of that. Did they overdo it sometimes? There are some things I'm going to tell you that I didn't like about the movie, sure, but it was really good.
It feels like we're nitpicking it.
Yeah, really
bad.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like it really. Needs to be.
I went into Guardians of the Galaxy way long ago thinking, "What the hell is this?" Knowing what the Guardians of the Galaxy was and not recognizing it from the comic books, and I know the comics, and I was like, "Okay, this doesn't look." And coming out of that movie, going, "That was great." Same thing with this. I kind of went in there going, I kind of recognize some of the things, but it doesn't really look. But I came out of it going, "Wow, I really like how they approached this movie." And they approached this movie. Okay, so there's a lot of. Let me bring up another screen here real quick. And just so we have a little Thunderbolts, little action going on here.
There you go.
So I saw a review yesterday that was really sour on this film because a lot of the narrative is rooted in mental health, for lack of a better term, dealing with trauma, dealing with decisions from the past, regrets, how do you move forward, things like that. And in a way, you have these 5 characters here, and they all sort of, I haven't really gotten it all down, but they all sort of represent to me the 5 stages of grief or mourning or whatever you want to call it, right? But it deals a lot. Each character is giving a little bit of a backstory, a little bit of here and there, especially Yelena. Yelena's the main one. Yeah, Yelena's the main one. Florence Pugh carries a lot of the film, and she does it very, very well. She's an incredible actress for what she does, and I think the things that she's been in.
People had doubts about this and her leading it, I think, and even to an extent I did because I thought, well, first of all, I didn't watch the Widow series, right? And I only knew about the Black Widow movie being so bad.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch it. Right? This is from you. I knew this, and I usually trust you when it comes to your takes pretty well because we have similar tastes. So I mean, not that I wasn't excited to see her in the main role, but I was like, okay, how are they going to build upon this character? So I felt kind of almost like it was kind of done.
Or all of these characters.
All of these characters in general.
Let's face it. Okay, Yelena's character was not given a great treatment in Black Widow.
No.
John Walker is not given great treatment. He's treated like the villain in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They want you to seem, but most people look at him and go like, he doesn't really seem like a villain. He seems like he's getting the short end of the stick. Ghost, who's the villain in the second Ant-Man movie, which again is a forgettable movie. So I mean, I think all around that character suffered from being in that movie. Yeah, second Ant-Man.
Was it second? I thought it was third.
Nope, second Ant-Man. No. Third is Kang.
Oh, yeah.
That's Quantumania.
Oh, my God.
Right?
Yeah.
Then there's Bucky. Pretty much a lot of people love Bucky. I think Bucky's a great character. Then there's Red Guardian, right? And none of these characters really had a lot of meat on the bone. This movie put a lot of meat on the bone.
With doing so little, too. It didn't feel like you were getting overburdened with like backstory and stuff. It did it very smoothly and concisely in a way that I was like, oh, I know everything about this character.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate them.
Yeah. You really actually, at the end of the film, I'm like, wow, I actually really appreciate John Walker as a character way more than I did before and see the potential. Wow. What a way to take Ghost, a character that was absolutely not given any type of propriety or any type of agency build up in the movie in which she was the main villain or one of the main villains, and to take that character and turn it into something that was worthy of an actor or an actress to sink their teeth into and go, yeah, I can do this, and make them likable and make them like, I want to see more of that character. Yelena Belova, with Florence Pugh's character. Granted, she gets the most backstory, and you get to see the Red Room and all that type of stuff, and her past trauma and what her life has been like since losing her sister and all that stuff, and the trauma that she is carrying around with her. And it really, I feel like I know Yelena Belova way more than I know Black Widow.
Yeah, I feel like, of course, you don't need to explain Black Widow as much because you have the comics, but
sure.
But in terms of you're just going based off of Marvel cinema. Yeah, I know more about Yelena, and I sympathize with her more.
Yeah, it's like,
more likable, actually, to an extent, which is crazy.
Yeah, here's a character that you can grow. Like, you see, there's a way she can grow. She can, and still, there's ways in which she can go bad, she can go good. Like, there's a lot of open field.
It's like an anti-hero.
Yeah,
perfectly.
And then there's the Red Guardian, who is my favorite character in the entire film.
Because he's funny.
He's hilarious. David Harbour just goes for it. He's hilarious. He's the heart of the film. He's the absolute heart. I mean, the narrative revolves a lot around Yelena and Bob, or the Sentry. We all know he's the Sentry, right? And Bob has his own trauma, his own backstory with addiction, mental health, all that. And it's really all these worlds of colliding mental health issues, worlds of colliding of bad decisions, world of colliding of poor upbringings, worlds of colliding of just looking back, just trauma, looking back at the past and say, what did that trauma do to make me make how did I made decisions based off of the trauma, and now I'm coming to terms with that. And Bucky has a great line. It's like, you can either live with it forever, or you can do something about it now. And at times, as someone who's 50 years old right now myself, and having a better appreciation of trauma and having a better appreciation of what mental health really is, this movie was touching at moments. It was actually touching. It was actually I just like that there was a lot of care when surrounding these. There's a scene where they deal with, they try to show you what addiction and depression and all that and loneliness and helplessness feels like. And and I don't want to spoil it for you, but when they do it, I'm sitting there going, they get that absolutely correct. Like it's absolutely perfect in how they execute that scene to get you to feel what that character is feeling in that moment or been feeling that whole time. It was really during it. I was moved. I was actually moved.
I think it does more for like bringing alert and just kind of just showing off the struggles of mental health issues more than I think I've seen. Than like actual, I think, and this is not to discredit any charity or anything. Yeah. Any movement or charity has done to kind of show it and make people who don't have these issues necessarily understand. This movie does it in a perfect way for anybody to understand. Even people who have suffered it, from what I understand, also have been able to relate to it.
Yeah. I mean, John Walker's anger. I think Yelena, if I was going to categorize her as something, it's denial. I think Bucky's acceptance. Yeah. Maybe Bucky's acceptance. Maybe Red Guardian's acceptance. Maybe they share that kind of role. But
no, I think Bucky more. Yeah. Because Red Guardian is more like not acceptance, but what's the one right before?
He's almost denial too. I think
he's almost denial, but he's also like right after
grieving. He's grief. He's
kind of grieving.
Yeah. I think Yelena's grief, and then maybe Red Guardian's denial, because you do see a lot of grief in Yelena's character. She is grieving her life, her choices, her situation.
Okay, I say his acceptance because remember, there's a scene where I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Where he comes out and says, "Oh, that was great for me. I had a great. My past is great."
My past. That might be denial.
Might be denial though because
of soldier. Because where you ended up. Your past can be great, but the decisions get you to a place where you don't want to be now, or you regret being. That could be denial, saying you're living off the past. But there's a lot there.
Right.
There's a lot, and there's incredible action sequences. Now we're talking about Marvel, and I'm talking about mental health, right? But there's incredible action sequence. By the way, people who are crapping on this movie because it does use mental health as the agency or as the impetus to move this story forward.
I think it's wrong.
They're wrong, but also if you go back and see like Iron Man 3, that's all about mental health. It's all about post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety attacks and panic attacks, right? And this is not the first time Marvel has taken that subject to task or used that subject in a way in which to further their storytelling. But here, and I don't know who wrote this, and if you want to look it up on IMDb for me, I don't know who wrote this, but they know what they were talking about. They know what they were doing, they know what they're talking about, and they did it very carefully. They never took advantage of it. They never give you a pity party. It's not a pity party. It's not like, oh, this poor person, but it's just people struggling.
Director or writer?
Writer.
You got Eric Pearson, Joanna Callow, and Kurt, and we probably mispronounced his last name, Busiek?
Okay. They wrote a hell of a movie.
They wrote a hell of a movie.
Up until I think, you know what? The one thing I'll tell you is that the ending is quick. When the ending comes, you're like, oh.
That's the end. Yeah, it kind of catches you off guard.
It's sort of like, boom. It's like a wall. It's like, oh. And then you're right into the finish, then the credits and there's 2 post-credit scenes, right? Just so you know, so you stay there for the one post-credit scene. It's like a mid-credit, and then the very, very end post-credit, which was awesome. Get you jacked, get you juiced up. Let me tell you, that last post-credit, get you juiced up.
We're not going to talk about it here.
We're not going to talk about it here.
We're going to talk about it in the review.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the review. Yeah, the official review that I posted. But this is our out of the theater, just got home reaction. Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, she has an assistant. What's the assistant? Mel.
Forget her name.
Yeah, she's probably like the if you're going to pick on somebody for like acting that just sort of felt a little Planko-woodish, that would be it. Julia Louis-Dreyfus plays Valentina Desfontaine, and she's the head of the CIA, and of course she is partly the bad guy here in this film. She does all right. Every time I see her with that white streak of hair, you know what I think? Tulsi Gabbard. I'm like, are they going with the Tulsi?
That's what I was saying. I 2 things remind me of Tulsi. Also, the Dalmatians, the lady from the Hunt.
Oh, yeah. Cruella de Vil.
Yeah. Corral DeVille. Yeah.
And if she's sort of like the anti Sam Jackson, the anti, and
the opposite of what he was.
Yeah, it comes off. She comes off. Sometimes she comes off as too over the top for the role, especially when you're in Congress and you're front of you're like, there's a different take there. So I think with her performance, I could say there were some choices there that I didn't like. But with the comedy, going back to the comedy and choices, everyone gets lines for laughter. All right, and I think that's the thing that kind of made me go. I don't think Florence Pugh's character needed any lines for laughter. Like, her character would have been great without the lines for laughter. John Walker's as well, maybe more in a negative way. I think Red Guardian should have been the focus of the comedy because he did it so well.
Right.
Ghost, I don't look at Ghost and say laughter. Bucky says a few things here and there that are kind of like...
I don't mind the Florence Pugh.
Yeah?
Because I think the sarcastic line fits with her character.
Sarcastic and dark comedy, but not when it's like...
It wasn't. I don't think she really had much bright comedy.
Well, when she was kind of going back and forth with her dad, and I get that they're trying to establish a relationship, which they did well establishing it with different things.
I get that.
But I think with the comedy, sometimes it's like you're in the moment with a character and they're really saying something important or they're saying something that is meaningful, and then there's like a quippy line comes out and you're like, yeah, it's funny, but yeah, I was really hooked on that thing you were saying. You know what I mean? Right. So it's sort of like there's some tonal shifts in the movie that are like...
The only people who needed comedy were David Harbour and Sebastian Stan. Like, if you're going to be out... Like, Ghost, I agree with you 100% doesn't need it. Even like Wyatt Russell, right? John Walker,
yeah.
He doesn't really need it. I don't mind if it's... his obliviousness to like a situation is funny at times.
Or he's just not caring, or he's just... Like, there's a guy who is... who's lost everything. He was put on the ultimate pedestal and he was torn down in the most brutal public way, and he's lost everything, right? There's a character that you can really, and when he starts this sort of, I guess you would call this a redemption arc for him.
Kind of, yeah.
It works, and you feel for him, and he doesn't need, you're right, he doesn't need the comedy. He doesn't need the comedy because...
He can have a funny moment just because of how his character acts.
Sure.
But he doesn't need like a line that's like funny.
Yeah. Sure. And you can see, I like the way how he played it, where there were times where, like, in the beginning, he's the a-hole. Like, everybody's like, looks at him, like, you're an a-hole. They make fun of him, discount, dime store, Captain America, whatever, right? But there are moments, even when he's in that beginning act, where he's considered the a-hole, where he has these moments of generosity or caring that he tries to do in a way where it masks that, but they recognize it, and you realize... There's a real person underneath there, and
who's gone through a lot. And so, for me, I just love how they took that character, which was just absolutely ruined and done wrong in Falcon and Winter Soldier series, and really just gave him some. I think it's great. I want to see more of this team after seeing this movie. Team makes me more. I'm more excited to see this team.
Yeah.
Than I am for Sam Wilson's Captain America. Nothing against Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
Great actor he is. I'm not as excited to see them.
Yep. No.
That team does not get me excited, not because of the characters. These people, this group grows on you more and entertains you, I think, just better as a group. Because you walk in this movie and you don't think these guys are going to mesh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You look at the post and you think, this has disaster. It seems like they threw people around. Wrong. You're completely wrong. Some of the best chemistry since we had the Avengers. Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
No social messaging shoved down your throat or anything like that if people are worried about that.
No.
I didn't get any. I didn't see any. I didn't hear any. I didn't feel any. And again, going back, this movie has some of the best, again, I'll say it again over and over again, best character development I've seen post-Endgame.
Yeah.
Disney Marvel post-Endgame.
They actually took their time because I think they were trying to rush it with, think about Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Try to rush Sam Wilson into it.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do with Bucky exactly. Have him there, have him not there. Yeah. They thought about, okay, who do we have that's alive? Rush him. Yeah. Thor, even to an extent, kind of got rushed.
Wanda.
Just WandaVision was a big one.
Yeah, WandaVision, that was rushing. Loki, Loki was okay. I've been going back and watching season 1 of Loki.
Season 1's good.
Season 1's good, but Sylvie's a little weird.
Yeah.
Season 2's better. I like season 2 better. But again, I think that's the only other thing I could point to where it's
funny because me and you disagree.
Yeah, there's some character development there, but the other ones, it's just sort of like they didn't seem like it seemed like here's a Marvel movie and here's this character and here's this thing. Here they did it right. I think they just got it right. And if you were going to ask me what's my favorite post Endgame Marvel movie,
might be this one.
It's this one. It is this one.
What good Marvel movie came out after Endgame?
I mean, at first I kind of liked Doctor Strange a little bit. Then I watched it again and go, okay, maybe I don't. It's kind of okay. Maybe I was just
Doctor Strange is not bad. It's not
the multiverse of madness.
The multiverse of madness. The effects are great. It's just story doesn't hold up.
Yeah, it's So I mean, there's the Spider-Man movies, but I don't consider them Disney Marvel. I consider them Sony Marvel.
Sony Marvel because you're not going to have that anymore.
Yeah, Spider-Man's treated a little differently, and they have a little bit different guardrails on that.
You don't even have them interact as much within this property. I don't think we're going to get a Spider-Man. In this world anymore.
Well, there's going to be a Spider-Man 4. I don't know if he'll come in. I don't know. He's got to show up in Doomsday.
I'm sure, but I don't think they're going to tie him into this universe until they know what they're going to have in the future permanently.
True.
Towards that relationship.
But yeah, I think if a post Endgame, I have to say this is the most enjoyable Marvel movie I've seen. You go back to Eternals? No.
No. They had some. What do you think about it?
Thor: Love and Thunder?
Killed that character.
No. Yeah.
Killed that character because you came off of Ragnarok, which is great.
Quantumania? No.
Ant-Man, you killed him.
Wakanda Forever? No.
Can't even really do that anymore. They're gonna do Ironheart, right?
They're gonna do Ironheart, the series that comes out soon. I think so.
I'm nervous for that one. I don't know.
It's not gonna be.
I don't think it's gonna be good.
If there was any good, they would have released it when it was finished over 2 years ago.
Oh, it's finished 2 years ago?
It's been in the can for 2 years.
Oh yeah, no, never mind.
Yeah, they're gonna dump it all at once and be like. But going back to the Thunderbolts, it's just.
Yeah, this is the team I want to see again. Yeah. I want to see this another movie of the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Whether they call them the Thunderbolts still, or they're going to call them a different name.
Yeah. And they're already setting that up where it's like, okay, here's a spoiler alert. If you don't want to know what the Thunderbolts asterisk means, okay, and you haven't already heard, all right, you can kind of click off and come back later. You ready? 1, 2, 3, spoiler. Thunderbolts is, okay, so first of all, the word Thunderbolts comes from Yelena Belova's soccer team when she was a little girl. Her father used to coach the Thunderbolts, the West Valley, Rochester.
West Chesapeake Valley
Thunderbolts
with an ad in between, but they don't know which ad it was anymore.
Yeah. So that's why John Walker kind of makes a comment when they first all together with the regarding, we're the Thunderbolts. And that kind of sticks. And Red Guardian loves the name. He's like, we're the Thunderbolts. But in the end, their name is changed to the New Avengers. All right? And that's what they call it. Now, of course, there's a post-credit scene. We're going to continue with spoiler alert here, okay? We're going to talk spoilers. All right, spoiler alert.
We're not going to go into the full post-credit scene.
No, we're not going to go.
One aspect of it.
But Sam Wilson doesn't like the fact, even though Bucky's part of it, that these people are being called the New Avengers because he's Captain America, right? He should be the head of the Avengers. He should be the heir apparent. So he's trying to copyright the name and all this stuff. So you're going to have New Avengers and another New Avengers, and obviously there's going to be conflict between these two groups, and that's going to have to be resolved. So they're definitely setting that up. But that's what that means.
This one wins. Sorry, this one is just a better team than me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the other Avengers are going to have as a group. Are you going to have?
They'll have Ant-Man. They'll have, of course, Captain America. They'll have the new Falcon. He's in Secret Wars. He's already in Secret Wars.
No. I mean, I'm thinking of who else is this is not looking great as a roster. I mean, Ant-Man is kind of cool, but they kind of hurt the character so much with Quantumania and how they're going to fix that.
Yeah,
it feels damaged.
I mean, so Ant-Man and they'll have the Wasp. I mean, if Angela,
that's it. I'd rather have this group. This group's more fun.
This group's way more fun.
This group's better in my opinion.
Again, like
with
I
Bob?
said, but Bob, and we'll get to Bob in a second. But going back, again, for me, some of the impressive stuff is like Ghost, and they don't give the characters too much that you lose interest in them. You know what I mean?
They give you enough.
Like Ghost. She has enough to do in the film that she becomes very, very interesting. And you're like, oh, okay, she's back and we're going to, she's going to do, you anticipate her, her move, you anticipate her coming back. Again, Bucky's there is sort of like the connection to the old Marvel world.
He's the veteran.
He's the veteran. He doesn't sort of overpower the film like he probably could. He's the Winter frickin' Soldier.
Let's face it, he has a great entrance.
He's got an
insanely great entrance.
There's Bucky. It's like,
there's my guy.
No, that's the Red Guardian says.
That's not Bucky.
It's the Winter Soldier. It's like, and you're all just like, everybody feels like, hell yes,
So,
it's the Winter Soldier.
I think I like Bucky in the role they put him in. He doesn't need to be exactly the main show.
No.
But he's so long as he's there and he's got a role,
Yeah.
I'm happy. Dude, I love Bucky as a character. I like seeing him here.
Yeah. It's funny just watching him be like a congressman for a few minutes. You know, he's just like, this isn't me.
He's like, he
has no idea what he's doing.
He's doing in Congress before. So like, what the fuck
Yeah,
does this even mean?
And then there's Bob. We're going to get to Bob. Bob is, of course, we all know he's the Sentry. Played very, very well for someone who's this actor has to play a character who is extremely emotionally and psychologically damaged through addiction and other types of abusive trauma. But he has to play that character with amnesia.
Yeah, with amnesia, exactly.
But and not understanding why he feels the way he feels or does or
with a weird hint of instability.
Yes, instability where whatever's inside of him as a right. It's again, don't want to get too much into it. There's a lot of just different moving parts within this particular character that even when he's doing something bad, you're rooting for him to do something good.
You're like, yes!
You're like you can beat, you can do, and then the chemistry between him and Yelena is great.
Yeah. I feel like they're setting something up there.
Yeah, I think they probably are, but just the chemistry on screen, they work well together.
Yeah.
The chemistry on screen between all of them works
great.
well together.
And I didn't know how it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it came
I thought it was going to be a mess because I thought to myself, I really did, because this is how I thought, right?
Like
and
Red Guardian.
And I said this on a stream before. I said, listen, you got John Walker, someone who they ruined, so people don't want to see him again. Yelena Belova, who people just want to see Black Widow, right? They think, okay, Black Widow. Sebastian Stan, people seem to like. Ghost, a forgettable villain. Red Guardian, someone who general audiences just kind of don't know and probably don't care about, right? And so they're, you've got a group of people that
you would only know about it if you watch TV shows, and if you watch TV shows, you were disappointed.
You were disappointed. So it's like, okay, is this going to work? And again, credit to the writing and the directing, they made it work. They
did a fantastic job. I think you can say any better is that this was probably the best movie they put out since Endgame.
Yep.
And I think if you want to get Marvel back on track in terms of the studio, I'm not saying it should be your main focus, these guys, but they should be very much included in your main story. How you continue this, how you build them up more, and how you deliver the payoff towards the end.
See, and the other thing is, I thought this was going to be like the Marvel movie that holds, it's sort of like the appetizer. It's going to hold you over until Fantastic Four, which, by the way, multiple commercials for and trailers for before this movie started.
They are pushing it.
It's getting pushed.
And it tells you they have a lot writing on it for their future plans. Because, I feel like their big movie was supposed to be Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Quantumania, but with the whole issue with Kang.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. Yeah.
Jonathan Majors. Now you look at this movie, which was supposed to be, of course, a big pillar in it, but not the pillar. It's supposed to be one of the main supporting pillars. Has now suddenly become the only main supporting pillar.
Yeah, they had to shift gears
for the rest of their universe for the stage.
Yeah. So there's a lot, and then
there's huge push for that. We're gonna watch that. What, July 24th?
Yeah,
comes out.
Yeah. Coming out, and then coming out of this movie, you are juiced up for Fantastic Four. By the way. I'll just say that they're gonna juice you up in this movie for that. But it makes me go, okay. Hopefully, it delivers. It delivers because this movie delivered, and this is the movie that I was expecting not to deliver, to fail or just be mediocre at best, or just so, like I said, an appetizer or holdover. Like, here's a little bit of Marvel before you get your main dish of Marvel, right? Your Marvel gulag, whatever, right? Goulash. And that's supposed to be the Fantastic Four. Do we get it? Does the Fantastic Four come in, and is it better than this film?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, you hear some rumors about that film.
Yeah.
The set design looks great.
I'm excited. We saw the trailer again in IMAX, and I'm like, cool. And you saw that shot of Galactus, and you're like, cool. Bring it on. There's no Silver Surfer in this trailer, though. The IMAX trailer had no Silver Surfer.
That's, I think, the one point they're realizing it might be a mistake. So they're kind of hiding it.
It is, but you know what? Here's what I say to the people who don't agree. And again, I want to see Norrin Rad as a Silver Surfer. That's my Silver Surfer, right?
Right.
He's the Silver Surfer. This is not a gender swapped Silver Surfer, because if it was a gender swapped Silver Surfer, It just means Nora Rad is a woman now. That's not the case. This is Nora Rad's girlfriend, Shia LaBeouf, who was the Silver Surfer in the comic books. It's an actual character. So it's not fair to call it a gender swap. It's fair to say it's a disappointment if you wanted Nora Rad. Okay, I'm cool with that. But it's not a gender swap. So we'll see how that all goes. Then we're talking, but going back to Thunderbolts, again, can't recommend it enough. Really good time at the movies. Really good Marvel film. And I was surprised at how well. And again, to the people out there and again, I saw multiple reviews last night that come in like, it's a mental health movie. It's not a mental health movie, but it deals with people who have gone through certain periods of trauma, as our other heroes have done so. And if that's your sticking point, I don't know what to tell you. You're forgetting your own Marvel history. So
yeah, you're on the wrong ship of like why to dislike the movie.
Yeah,
I feel like there's really not much you could dislike about the movie. There
wasn't much that again, the ending was so abrupt though. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does. Do we talk? No, we don't talk about that right
now. We're not going to talk about the ending. The ending works.
It works.
But
it throws you off for a moment. It's like, oh, this is not how I expected this would go.
Yeah, and it's the most humanized group of people I've seen in the MCU in a long time. And again, if you think your heroes and mental health, all that, Wolverine is a walking mental health issue. Okay, so if you're
America to an extent.
Captain America,
Man at a Time
is a walking mental health issue. Iron Man is an alcoholic walking mental health issue.
Daddy issues and has anxiety. There's a literal anxiety attack. It's like there's a scene. There's a clip where he's asking, what's the name of the system? Jarvis is like, check my heart, check my brain. I think I might have been poisoned. He's like, sir, you're having what is called an anxiety attack. He's like, what?
Yeah.
PTSD.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not new for Marvel to use mental health as like a part of the story. I think this is the first time they let it be one of the main drivers of the story.
Yeah, the main impetus, yeah.
The main impetus. Yeah. It's always been like one of the side but major impetuses.
It's always been a contributing factor.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And we're here, it's like
one of the main
factors, yeah. And that's our review. I didn't want to get on here for an hour and talk about it. I want to get on here and tell everybody, but that's our review. If you're looking forward to the Thunderbolts, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and if you're down on it,
give it a chance.
Give it a chance because trust me, it's way better than what you and I expected.
Yeah, I went in there with very low expectations from everything that I've heard, and maybe all the crap that you hear on the internet. Maybe I'm listening to the YouTube channels too much,
and maybe it's also because we had a bad. I think it was more because we went to Captain America and we watched that. And it's Snow White, and you're wondering where the hell's Marvel going with this stuff. Yeah. I mean, what was the last Marvel series they just did?
The last Marvel series they just did.
It was like on
there was Echo, and then there was Daredevil, Born Again.
Okay, Daredevil. I was trying to, what was one before Daredevil? That's kind of main.
I think She-Hulk, Echo.
She-Hulk.
Yeah, they didn't have many, yeah.
And technically, I guess you want to go Winter Soldier.
Oh, Winter Soldier, yeah, that was a couple years ago. Yeah.
That was a couple years ago, Phil.
So, it's just, Marvel's left a bad taste in people's mouth, but this one...
I think cleans your palate and makes you very happy. It's like you had shitty appetizers. You get actually a good steak. It's like, oh shit, this place actually has good steaks. Just skip the appetizers, skip the steak. Like, and you don't need to watch. I want to make this clear. You don't need to watch those shows to understand what's going on here.
Yeah, that was great too. You know what? That's a great point. Before you don't need any pre-work for this.
No, you can sit. You're on the movie. I didn't do any pre-work for these. I didn't watch those shows because you did that.
Yeah.
And I watched a couple episodes with you, I think, but I didn't watch all the shows.
I mean, as long as you know that Julie, Dave Fontaine, Valentina is like the new negative, I guess call her the negative Sam Jackson, the negative leader.
The opposite of Sam Jackson. Yeah, literally in every factor. White, has hair.
Yeah. Female. But you don't really, it's just go and have some fun.
Go and have some, it's a great movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah, great movie.
You'll get some laughs, you'll like the characters.
So that's it. That's what we got. You streaming tonight?
I think, I will.
You're going to be doing some other work, and we're going to be doing that. And that's our review of Thunderbolts. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to get out of here, go do our other work, and get ready to go.
And I recommend you see this movie. Give it a chance, really. You'll enjoy it. It's a nice... Yeah. Especially if you watch Captain America, Brave New World, this makes you happy for Marvel. It makes you... It's like, I don't have to... Okay, you could skip the Sam... Nothing wrong with Sam Wilson again, the actor, but the way that his character is just no offense, not great.
Yeah.
This is the Avengers I want to see. This is the group you want to see. I think that's it. I'm sorry. We'll end it off here, Kurt.
But yeah, good movie, great movie. I thought it was a great movie, and Marvel knows how to tell stories. This movie proves it. So with that, I'm still your reluctant gringo from south of the border. We'll see you probably tomorrow night. Salud, ahueva. I hope everybody has a great week and the rest of their weekend.
Adios.
You a racist? Do you hate Mexicans?
So long, gay boys!